912 Sports, Southeast Georgia's #1 source for high school sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, a weekly look at high school sports in Southeast Georgia, featuring coaches, players, and journalists who know the ins and outs of prep athletics. Presented by the award-winning writers and broadcasters of 912 Sports, and sponsored by Coastal Pines Technical College, Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopaedic Surgery, Prime South Bank, and Gibson Animal Clinic. Now, this week's headline.
Welcome to Week 11. Some teams are finishing up the season this Friday night, and some teams with 2 games left to play. There's huge games all over the 912 this Friday night, but none bigger than the one in Springfield, Georgia, as the Statesboro Blue Devils go calling on the Effingham Rebels. The Blue Devils are playing for a home playoff game, and the Rebels still with a shot at the region title. This week we'll have the Rosses report. I'll take a look back at the Swainsboro-Jeff Davis game. All that and more right here on Air with 912 Sports. Thanks for watching.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopaedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
It's the Ross Report on 912 Sports. Big week of high school football as the regular season begins to wind down. Getting excited with some region playoff races to get into that state tournament and some rivalry games and senior nights. Always fun, except for the PA guy. He doesn't really like it. I can promise you that. Game of the week last week was Swainsboro. Jeff Davis, a nail-biter. Swainsboro got the W 15-14. Camden lost a tough one to Tift County 21-14. It was Toombs County over Vidalia 21-19. Richmond Hill and Glenn grinded it out 14-7. The Wildcats got the win over the Red Terrors to help the Wildcats secure a playoff spot, still with 2 losses in the region. Effingham County over Bradwell. They only have 1 loss in the region. They won over Bradwell 35-12. It was East Lawrence over Bacon 49-27. Brantley with the upset of the week in the state of Georgia. Largest upset of the week. A 30-point underdog the Brantley County Herons were. They went on the road and got the win at Tatnall 13-10. Congratulations to Jeff Cannon for that win. And that turns that region upside down 3 or 4 times. Listen in to Coach Jeff Cannon's podcast on Tuesday, that was posted on Tuesday, and you'll get the full breakdown of what will happen in that region playoff-wise for the last 2 weeks. A lot to determine still. Irwin County 36-7 over Charlton. Coffee 33-14 over Veterans. It'll come down to Veterans and Wayne to see who gets that last playoff spot in Region 1-6A. Region 1-5A, excuse me. Frederica Academy over St. Andrews, setting up a big region winner-take-all situation this Friday underneath the Oaks at St. Simon's Island against Pinewood at Frederica. So, big game for the Knights. Liberty County 45-0 over Groves. Pierce County 44-6 over Long County. MCA keeps Screven County winless over beating the Gamecocks 32-8. New Hampstead falls to Benedictine. Benedictine wins the region there 70-28. It was Statesboro staying in the hunt for the 2 seed in the region over South Effingham 35-6. That Statesboro Effingham game going to be a big one for the region seedings. And Warner Robins takes care of Wayne County 70-13. That's the Ross recap for 912 Sports.
High schoolers, Did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal!
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, across from Harvey's in Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Robbie Ross here with your recap from Richmond Hill and Glen Academy, a big matchup in Region 2 6A. Both teams come in with 2 losses already in the region, and so something had to give. The team with the third loss puts itself really behind the 8 ball in terms of qualifying for the state playoffs. First quarter, 8 minutes to go. Richmond Hill scores a 27-yard touchdown pass from Ty Goldrick to Tommy Bliss to go up 7-0. And then 11 minutes left in the second quarter. Glen Academy answers Zach Ellis on a 22-yard touchdown run to make it 7-7. 6:53 to go before halftime. A 1-yard touchdown run by Caleb Easterling made it 14-7, and that was all the scoring that was left in the ball game. Going into halftime, it was 14-7, a quick and scoreless third quarter, leaving it 14-7, Richmond Hill in the lead there. And then a fourth quarter that went by as well. Kind of played between the 20s, really, in the third and fourth quarter. Nobody really threatened to score. Glen Academy threatened a little bit, an interception down at the 3-yard line by Rayvon Grant snuffed out that drive. But mainly a third and fourth quarter played between the 20s. Nobody really threatened to score. Final score from Richmond Hill, 14-7 in favor of the Wildcats. Wildcats finished the regular season on the road at South Effingham this week before having an off week on November 5th. And Glen Academy is off this week before finishing the season on November 5th. That is your recap from Richmond Hill and Glen Academy for 912 Sports.
Fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, and this past Friday night, myself and podcast host and writer Kevin Price had the opportunity to ride over to Hazelhurst, Georgia to the Pinelands to check out the big region contest between the Swainsboro Tigers and the Jeff Davis Yellow Jackets. Swainsboro comes out on top 15-14, but oh boy, were we treated to a fantastic football game that came right down to the wire. The Jackets played well all night long. The senior quarterback, Tyson Alls, number 16, scores the first touchdown of the night. I've got a clip for you that you can watch right here. Tyson goes to the left there and scores on a little 3-yard play, puts the Yellow Jackets up 7-0. That's how halftime would end. We come back out, start the second half, third quarter, and the number 2 quarterback for Swainsboro, Ty Adams, he was Mr. Do Everything all night. He goes down the field, scores, and oh, by the way, the Jackets jump off sides on the extra point, moves the ball to the 1.5-yard line. Coach Roberts decides that he's going to go for the 2-point conversion. They go for it and get it and puts them up 8-0. The Jackets battle back, come back down the field and score and go up 14-8. And it's back and forth all night long. But Ty Adams would not be denied. He goes down and gets a touchdown with a controversial play. I've got a clip of it right here. I'll show you the touchdown. You can't really see it, but there's some video out there that shows the young man's helmet come off at the 3-yard line. By high school rules, that play is dead at the 3-yard line. He goes ahead and scores. They give him the touchdown. They kick the extra point, puts him up 15-14. Like I said, a little bit of controversy there. Depends on what side of the fence you're sitting on how that goes. But according to GHSA, the score is 15-14 Swainsboro. But Jeff Davis doesn't quit. They've only got 40 seconds on the board or something like that. They come driving all the way back down the field after, for whatever reason, Swainsboro selects to go for an onside kick. Jeff Davis covers it at about the 45-yard line. A couple plays later, they're down in field goal range. And with 10 seconds left to go, they opt to kick the field goal. I've got a clip of it for you right here. The ball just falls a little bit short and wide right. Final score, Swainsboro 15, Jeff Davis 14. But man, what a football game! A lot of games to play still left in that region. We'll see how it finishes up. But right now, the Swainsboro Tigers are in the driver's seat. Appreciate everybody watching On Air with 912 Sports. And until next time, may all your check marks go in the win column.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, and I'm joined here by the head coach of the Effingham Rebels, Coach John Ford. Coach, how you doing today, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm better than I deserve, my friend. Living the dream down here in Springfield.
There you go, Coach. Hey, we appreciate you being on air tonight. And, Coach, you guys have got a big one. It's our game of the week. Statesboro is going to come over to Effingham for a region contest. Both of you guys come into the region contest right now 3-1. And, Coach, we just talked a little bit about off air. Really, there's 5 teams that are still alive to make the playoffs in this region. Brunswick's out there undefeated in the region, but you guys right there at 3-1. You and Statesboro both, if whoever gets a win here, especially you guys, if you guys get a win here, you go into the last game with Brunswick with the region championship on the line. And, of course, I know you're not worried about that game. You're worried about Statesboro and getting this one out of the way. But so let's dive right into that game, Coach, and talk a little bit about what you guys are going to face when Statesboro shows up.
Well, Coach Kaiser does an awesome job. They're well coached. I tell you what, offensively, they are fast now. Holy smokes, they've got some dudes that can run. I don't know. I'm new here. I don't know who won the 4x1 region track championship last year, but I bet if you took some of Statesboro's skill dudes and put them out there, I bet they'd have as good a chance as any. Defensively, golly buckets. They are sound. They're aggressive. They're physical. They run to the ball. They don't let you get beat. They don't make mistakes. They don't let you get behind them. They don't give up the big play. They just do what they do, and they do it better than a lot of people they play. And, we've got our work cut out for us this Friday night. I promise you that.
Yeah, when you talk about speed, their quarterback, he is a 10-100 guy, and he's proven it on the track, and he's one of those guys, Coach, if he gets in space, he's trouble.
Buddy, I believe it. Ain't no doubt. Every time he drops back to pass, and every time the ball's in his hand, shoot, you just hold your breath and you clench a little bit and, hope your guys take good angles and have good rush lanes and, to take on blocks the right way and do everything they're supposed to do.
Right. Well, Coach, as far as their offense goes, what do they try to do? What do they want to try to do whenever they play a team?
They spread you out, and then they can kind of take advantage of whatever you give up, so to speak. So, kind of in the age of the modern spread offenses, certainly with the quarterback back there, they can run. They've got backs that can run and know what to do with it. They do a good job up front. But they've got speed on the perimeter too. And if you load the box to take away the run, they will go over the top in a minute. And then, the great equalizer is, let's say you might do everything right for 4 seconds. And number one, will make 2 guys miss and look like Lamar Jackson out there and then scoot 30 yards down the sideline and step out of bounds. And so certainly have a tall task ahead of us defensively.
Yeah, it's like the old adage goes, you can't coach speed and you can't coach size. You either got it or you don't.
They got both, no doubt about it.
Well, Coach, let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. What kind of a defense are you guys going to be facing when the Blue Devils show up?
Typical Statesboro, they're 4 down. They're going to be fundamentally sound. You're not going to be able to trick them. You're not going to be able to out-formation them. You're not going to be able to run some sort of play where you get them, so to speak. They're going to be well coached. They're going to play the game the right way. They're going to run to the ball. I mean, shoot, you throw the ball out to the perimeter, and then sometimes if those guys dance around too much, you'll see defensive linemen making tackles downfield. They're going to be hard to move up front because they're big, physical, aggressive, tough, well coached. They use their hands very well. Backers fit, everything really, really well. And then the secondary is just, I don't know a better word to describe it. They're just sound. You're not going to get behind them. You're not going to trick them. You're not going to double move them. You think, okay, we're going to run this because they play cover 3. We're going to run this cover 3 beater. But they do a great job turning and getting where they got to get. And they know they know where the soft spots in their coverage are, and they do a great job rallying to it.
Right. Well, Coach, you guys have done an excellent job of coaching since arriving there at Effingham. You turned that program around. Right now, got a winning record at 5-2, sitting there at 3-1 in the region. So your coaching staff and yourself have done a fantastic job. But it also takes Jimmy's and Joe's to do that. So talk a little bit about some of the guys that have meant something to you, that have meant been important to you guys on the offensive side of the ball, so we can kind of be on the lookout for them on Friday night.
Well, the offensive side of the ball starts up front with the bigs, and we had a young offensive line this year and had to replace a lot of experience from last year. Coach Austin Osmond's done a great job with them. We're young up front, left to right. This past Friday night, we started 3 juniors, a sophomore, and a senior. They compete hard every Friday night, and they work as hard as they can during the week at practice, and they go out there and leave it all on the field. We've got, a couple upperclassmen backs, Miguel Allen, Xavier Kopic, that run hard. We play a bunch of different tight ends, wide, what we call the wide position on our offense. 3 of them caught a pass last Friday night. And then we roll a bunch of receivers in, and we try to get them the ball in space, try to get them the ball downfield as much as possible. And Kyrie Wallace and Timmy Brown and Ashley Thompson and Messiah Bacon and Juice Williams and Timmy Burns said, all caught balls Friday night, and we try to get the ball to them as much as possible. And then Matthew Ford as the trigger man has done a great job. At one point Friday night, he was 16-17, and I think he finished either 20-25 or 21-25 for the game. So he was just efficient, got the ball to the right spot, was accurate, was on time, and he's been like that all year for us.
Well, excellent. Let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. Who's been some of your stalwarts over there?
Have a really, really tough D-line that plays real hard, practices real hard, kind of just a bunch of kids that love dirt under the fingernails and do it the right way. And Cooper Neese and Keyshawn McCarr and Christian Dillon and Trent Robinson and Kyler Stone all do an awesome job up there. And then, we got some throwback linebacker types, wear the cowboy collars and will come downhill and thump you. And they love playing the game the right way, and they love being physical. And Tucker Wilson and Luke Roberts and CJ Reese and Tyler Wells. And then we roll a bunch of bodies in at DB because a lot of those kids play receiver too. So we try to develop depth, and we say our 2s are our 1s. And, we try to play 6-8 kids every Friday night in the back end. And so that takes a lot of coaching. And Coach William Pinnell and Coach Avery Roth do an awesome job with that, and they've done a good job getting a lot of those same names you heard on offense. Kyrie Wallace and Miguel Allen and Timmy Brown and Messiah Bacon and all those kids. Juice Williams, they all do an awesome job, and I know I'm forgetting somebody. They're all doing an awesome job, offense and defense, and they're the best we got, and so we roll them in there and try to keep them fresh and try to work on both sides, and they do a great job for us.
Well, Coach, should be an electric atmosphere there in Effingham and Springfield this Friday night. A lot on the line, region seeding and an opportunity to play for a region championship next Friday night. So you guys go get better for the rest of the week, and hopefully we'll talk to you down the road as you guys make the playoffs.
That sounds good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having us on. And thank you for everything you do for sports in the 912 in Southeast Georgia. It is truly, to me, I don't want to say a hidden gem, but doesn't get the recognition it deserves for good football players, good football coaches, and good football programs. And thank you for shining a light on it.
I appreciate you, Coach. All right, man, we'll talk to you soon. That's Coach John Ford, head coach of the Effingham Rebels as they take on Statesboro this Friday night there in Springfield.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir, buddy. Until next time, may all your check marks go in the win column.
That's right. Thank you.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by podcast host and writer Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing this evening, buddy?
Just fine, Sean. Good to be with you once again.
Yeah, man, it's hard to believe, Kevin. We're on the next to the last week of the final regular season. I think this is game 9 for most people, game 10 for some people, because they'll finish up the season this Friday night. But a lot of people have games the following Friday as well. But really, Kevin, no bigger games in the 912 area code than our game of the week, and that's Statesboro traveling over to Effingham. Had a chance to talk to Coach John Ford earlier today, and, man, this is a huge, huge game. You've got Brunswick in this region, Kevin, sitting out there undefeated, in first place or in the driver's seat in first place. But listen, if Effingham finds a way to win this game against Statesboro, they're going to go into that final game of the season, Kevin, with one loss. They find a way to beat Brunswick, and Effingham could hoist the region trophy for this region.
Yeah, Sean, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago that, if Effingham, won the ball game a couple of weeks ago, they were going to control their own destiny going into these final 2 weeks. And that's exactly where we are. They've got this game with Statesboro, and then they've got that game coming up with Brunswick. And, they control their own destiny as far as, whether they, finish possibly first, maybe second, or even lower than that in terms of, where they were to fall in the pecking order in the region. And, Sean, not only is this the game of the week because it's an attractive matchup here in Southeast Georgia between two longtime rivals, Effingham and Statesboro. As it turns out, here in the next to last week of the regular season, this game not only impacts these two teams and where they fall in the pecking order, it impacts everybody else that could possibly make the playoffs. And that does include Brunswick, not only Brunswick, but Richmond Hill and also Glenn Academy. Now, I'm going to keep this simple. I'm not going to get into every scenario, how this might affect Richmond Hill, how this might also affect Glenn Academy. But I will say this, just like you did say, all these teams are watching this because the outcome of this game will affect what they face, next week and beyond. But it does also impact Brunswick because, just like you said, let's just assume that Brunswick takes care of business at home this Friday night against Bradwell Institute, which is winless on the season at 0-7, and then winless in the region as well at 0-4. Brunswick would be 5-0 in the region, of course, but like you said, if Effingham wins this ball game, sitting there with just that one loss, well, then next week is going to be for the region championship because Effingham, if they beat Brunswick, would hold the head-to-head tiebreaker. Now, if Statesboro wins this game Friday night, it's all she wrote. Brunswick is going to be the region champion going into that last game against Effingham because Brunswick could do no worse than one loss, and they've already beaten Statesboro, so they would hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over Statesboro if Statesboro were to finish with one loss by beating Glenn the last week of the regular season. But, of course, Brunswick wants to try to finish out undefeated, so they would still have something to play for. So, obviously, a big ball game from that standpoint, Sean. And, when you look at this game, I think it's safe to say that both of these teams probably, would be content playing this game around 23-20, 20-17. I know that Effingham seems to lack much offensive firepower. When you look at some of their scores, I think if they're going to win the ball game, they're going to win a defensive game, winning maybe something like 20-17, 17-14. I think Statesboro may have a little more offense with the McHale brothers, with one being at quarterback, one being in the backfield. So I think the key for Effingham is to keep those guys hemmed up and not let them break big ones on them in the run game. But Effingham is going to be tough to beat, Sean, as you know, in Springfield, which is always a tough place to play. And, of course, they'll have the home crowd behind them. But you would think Statesboro would take a good crowd over there with them for such a meaningful ball game.
Yeah, a lot on the line Friday night there in Springfield. Like I said, Coach, he's not concerned. After talking to Coach Ford, he's not concerned about the ifs, whys, or buts or whatever. He just wants to try to win that game Friday night, and that's the key, is to focus on that game, get that win. Then you can worry about everything else after the fact. But we'll move right along, Kevin. We got Lowndes at Camden, and it's so funny, Kevin, because about 9:00 on last Friday night, this game meant so much more than what it means right now. And what I mean by that is Colquitt County was beating Lowndes and Camden was beating Tift County. And if that scenario had finished out last Friday night, you would have had a opportunity for Camden to play for a three-way tie in first place in the region. Camden dropped their game to Tift County. Lowndes County came back and beat Colquitt. And so now Lowndes is sitting there in the driver's seat at the number 1 seed, and Camden is relegated to the number 4 seed. And that's pretty much the way, regardless of what happens Friday night in Chris Gilman Stadium, that's the way they're going to finish.
Yeah, for sure. Lowndes is going to be the region champion in that region. They're already 2-0, can do no worse than 2-1. They've already beaten both Colquitt and Tift. And so whoever wins that ball game over there could do no better than 2-1, and Lowndes holds the head-to-head tiebreaker in that one. Now, that game over there does mean something, Sean, because both of those teams, whoever wins that game, the winner is going to be second, the loser is going to be third. But we do know that Camden, already with those 2 region losses, is relegated to the 4th seed because they lost to both of those teams, Colquitt and Tift. One of those teams will get their second loss, but they do hold the head-to-head on Camden. So Camden, by the tiebreaker, would fall down to the 4th spot. So even if Camden wins Friday night against Lowndes at home, can do no better than 4th. But they do know they're going to the playoffs. But, Sean, this is a pride game for Camden.
Exactly.
They've lost, I guess, 4 in a row now, counting that game to Coffee, 10-7 loss over there in Douglas. Have lost all of these region games. But in that mix, Sean, this game Friday night, they even had a chance to win. And it was a weird game. They got up 7-0 at halftime. And Tift County controlled the football, Sean, for all but basically a minute of the third quarter. They scored on their opening drive of the second half, kicked an onside kick, got the ball back, scored again, and made it 14-14. And then Camden had a 3-and-out, I think. And then Tift got the ball back and scored bam, bam. And next thing you know, it was 21-7. Camden came back, scored bam, bam. Jamie Felix ripped off a run, and it was 20-14. But again, Camden just never could get the game tied again. And so just kind of a weird game, and Camden's lost some tough games in the second half this year, Sean. But this is a pride thing, and they know they're going to the playoffs in 2 weeks. So I think if they could win this game somehow, some way, this would give them something good to feel good about, and kind of maybe build some momentum for the playoffs. But this Lowndes team is tough. They got that quarterback, Ja'Curry Brown, and everything revolves around him offensively. They're solid on defense. So this is another tough assignment for Camden. Man-to-man on paper, they should probably lose this game, but it is senior night. And I don't think the kids have quit, Sean, and I know the coaches haven't, but there is a lot of noise, a lot of chatter down there in Kingsland. We talked about it Friday night on that way back from the Jeff Davis Swainsboro game, that people thought just because Jeff Herron was coming back, he was going to work magic and everything was going to be peaches and cream. And look, everything is peaches. Coach Herron has done a great job, but he just hasn't been able to quite put the cream on top of the sundae or the shake or anything. That's coming, I think. But the man's not a miracle worker. It's going to take time, but just all hasn't come together, and we'll see if they can get a signature win Friday night.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it would be. And it would also serve notice to all these teams in the playoffs. Listen, if you draw Camden as a 4 seed, you're really not getting any favors there, because Camden is a tough football team. And listen, if they go beat a number 1, depending on who that number 1 is, I haven't looked at the brackets, but listen, there's a lot of number 1 seeds in 7A that Camden's got a shot at beating.
Yeah, talking to Coach Herron, I mean, they're going to have 2 weeks to prepare, Sean, for that game, and depending on what happens in that region they're facing, I think North Cobb has the inside track on the 1 seed right now. If they win Friday night, I think they've got that locked up, and that's who Camden knows they would be playing, and they would have 2 weeks, Sean, to get ready for that game, and I think that's huge for them. Now, if North Cobb were to lose, now I think they're playing Marietta, if I'm not mistaken. So it's possible they could lose. If they lose, I think Coach Aaron said, I have no clue what's going to happen, and I hope that region does. But so Camden may not know who they would get to play, so they might have to just kind of work on themselves and not really be able to game plan. But give Coach Aaron kind of like a Nick Saban or somebody 2 weeks to prepare, and that's to his advantage. I can guarantee you that. You can write that down.
Definitely. Well, we'll move on to 5A, Kevin. We got Warner Robins at Coffee. And listen, guys, I'm assuming that Ware County is going to win out. I mean, they beat the toughest two teams in the region. No disrespect to Veterans and Wayne, but they're not on the level that Coffee and Warner Robins are right now. If you assume that Ware wins out, this game, Kevin, is for second place and a home playoff game in the state playoffs, whoever can come away with a win. Now, Warner Robins does have to travel to Jardine Stadium over there in Douglas. We all know that's a tough place to play. But listen, Warner Robins is back on track. They put a 70 spot on the board against Wayne last week. Coffee's played really well against Veterans, but they're still not, they're still missing a few of their players. They're still trying to move some guys around at running back and other positions. So I'm not sure that they're at full strength, but nonetheless, Robbie Pruitt will have his guys ready to play. It'll be interesting to see what shakes out here. But again, a home playoff on the line over at Jardine Stadium Friday night.
Yeah, going back to, Wayne County last week against Warner Robins, they went into a tough spot with, Warner Robins still licking their wounds, I guess after losing to, Ware County. I'm sure they're still not over that. But, I think the real key for this game, Sean, is how healthy is Coffee. I saw those guys healthy against Glenn Academy. And look, Glenn Academy is down, certainly offensively, and they were still kind of finding themselves, I guess, defensively then. And I think Glenn Academy has certainly improved defensively. Certainly since that ball game, they lost at 42-0. But I saw a Coffee team clicking on all cylinders in that ball game, throwing the ball around, certainly running the ball well. Maurice Turner, we saw what he's all about in that game here at Glenn County Stadium. And I think since then, Coffee has had a lot of problems with injuries, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I think that's key number one, how healthy is Coffee. And that's probably key to them in terms of getting healthy here in a hurry in the next couple of weeks, getting ready for the playoffs. Because I do think they're good enough all the way around, if they're healthy, to do exactly what they did last year and make a good run through the brackets, whether they're 2 or 3. But I do think Coach Pruitt will come up with a good game plan with who he has on the field. And again, Warner Robins just may have too many weapons in the gun for them to hang with them for 4 quarters if they're not healthy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough assignment, but one that can happen. So we'll see what shakes out there on Friday night in Jardine Stadium. Got Toombs at Swainsboro. Kevin, you and I got an opportunity to see Swainsboro in person last Friday night. Listen, Ty Adams, the number 2. His number is 2. He's not the number 2 quarterback, but he is number 2, and he does play quarterback. He is Mr. Do Everything. The kid has got wheels galore. I mean, he can go. We saw him bust one up the gut for about a 50-yard touchdown run and ran past about 3 or 4 defenders. I mean, this guy really is the engine to that Swainsboro Tiger offense. They get Toombs at home, but again, Kevin, a lot is on the line here. If Toombs somehow finds a way to win this game, I think Jeff Davis goes back in the driver's seat with a win over East Lawrence to actually win that region. Now, of course, if Swainsboro handles their business, they get it done and get a victory over Toombs, and they're going to be 1, and Jeff Davis is going to be 2. But a lot on the line here Friday night in Swainsboro.
Well, that was a great game we saw Friday night, a 15-14 slugfest. I thought it would be low score, and I think you did too. The teams looked to be kind of evenly matched on paper with 2 good defenses, even though they both have high-powered offenses. And, 15-14, it was every bit as close as we thought it would be, and some key plays on both sides of the ball in that game. And, of course, controversial game-winning touchdown for Swainsboro in that game. If people want to know about it, I guess they could go Google it, and maybe it'll show up on some huddle film or something. But that was a tough loss for Jeff Davis, a big win for Swainsboro. They set themselves up now to control their own destiny in these final couple of ball games, and they faced the 2 teams out of Toombs County there with Toombs and Vidalia in these last couple of weeks. And I guess nobody's a bigger Swainsboro fan right now than Jeff Davis, because like you said, our bigger Toombs fan
Yeah.
than Jeff Davis, because Jeff Davis needs some help now. And Swainsboro just looked real athletic to me, and they looked like they had a bunch of similar kids out there to number 2, even though he is the straw that stirs the drink. And I just see him possibly taking over this ball game and dominating it. I know for the most part, Jeff Davis did a good job of keeping him hemmed up. He's a guy that you can't just control. You just got to kind of keep him slowed down. And for the most part, they did. But he did make some key plays, some key runs in that game. But I can see him possibly taking over this game Friday night and getting some help from the guys around him in Swainsboro, going ahead and taking care of business in these last 2 games and finishing out number 1 in that region.
Exactly. Going to be a good game there in Swainsboro. Moving right along, we'll go back into 5A. We got Ware at Veterans. And, Kevin, this essentially is a region championship game for the Ware County Gators. If they go to Veterans, get a win, then they know that they're going to finish first, because even if they lose to Wayne, they'll still hold all the tiebreakers. Everybody, or somebody else is going to have one loss, but they'll hold the tiebreakers and they'll still be region champs. Now, where's their goal is to win out for sure. But if they go to Veterans on Friday night, get that win, then they'll know that they are region champs for Region 1 5A. And I think that's the game plan. Listen, Ware has been hitting on all cylinders the last couple of weeks. Ever since the defeat to Benedictine, that team has been a changed football team. They're winning in all 3 phases, Kevin. They're winning on offense, they're winning on defense, and they're winning on special teams. And if they continue to play like that, regardless if it's Veterans, Wayne County, whoever in the playoffs, you're going to have a hard time beating the Ware County Gators.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, Ware just needs to bat 500, I guess, go 1 for 2 in these last 2 at bats, or make 1 of 2 at the foul line. So why not go ahead and make the first and know you're going to shoot the second anyway? But and there's no make no bones about it. They're going to want to win that game next week against Wayne for sure, and add to the Yellow Jackets' misery. This should be a no contest, really. I mean, there's no doubt who's the better team on paper. And, Ware just needs to go out, take care of business, and get the job done. They've already done the dirty work, Sean, the hard work, getting past, Coffee and certainly Warner Robbins. And the hardest work, I guess, is still ahead of them to possibly beat maybe those 2 teams again, and whoever else, including maybe that Cartersville team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. So a lot of work still to be done for the Gators to maybe win the whole thing. But start right here. They can take care of business and know they lock down that region championship, and they should win this ball game. And how about just on a side note, how about the treatment that your boy Norton got going out to Iowa State? They must want him a ton. They rolled out the red carpet, welcome to Norton when he went out there to the game. I guess it was Saturday, right?
Yeah, it was a huge game against Oklahoma State that Iowa State was able to win. I think they went into that game favored, and Oklahoma State was like number 10 in the country, and Iowa State wasn't even ranked, but Iowa State was favored, and they were able to pull off the victory. But you're exactly right, Kevin. They rolled out the red carpet, had a huge banner hung on in the stadium, welcoming Cartavius, and hey, who wouldn't want that young man playing football for him? I mean, he's a beast. Now, they don't call him the bull for nothing, Kevin. He can tote the rock, as they say.
Well, he had to be impressed with the treatment he got and with that big victory. So I would say it was a good day for Iowa State. I don't guess he committed. I didn't hear anything, but if he did, it would have been a big day for the Iowa State for sure.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Kevin, got a lot of other games in the 9-1-2. We'll just run through them real quick. We got Appleton and Brantley as Appleton gets ready for that big showdown at the end of the season with Pierce. Bacon at Vidalia. Bacon still winless on the season. Bradwell at Brunswick. Bradwell, another, winless team. Charlton looking to get back in the win column, Kevin. They've been getting beat up the last couple of weeks. Maybe they can get well against Lanier and put one in the W column. Clinch at Irwin. Good luck to Clinch. Bless their heart. They had a rough year, and it's not going to get any easier Friday night taking on the Irwin Indians. So Pinewood is going to travel over to Frederica. Jeff Davis is going to travel up to East Lawrence. MCA is going to play Portal at Portal. Jenkins is at New Hampstead. New Hampstead had to go play Benedictine last Friday night. They found out how good Benedictine is. And then you've got Tatnall at Pierce. Pierce, another one. They just want to get this game out of the way, put one in the win column and get ready for Appleton. And then you got Richmond Hill at South Effingham. Richmond Hill should handle that game. South Effingham, another winless team on the season. And then Terrell Academy is at Robert Toombs Christian Academy. But a lot of great games Friday night, Kevin. A lot of stuff on the line, a lot of stuff still to play for. So should be some good games all around the area.
I got a question for you. You think Jordan Triplett carried the ball any for
Federico
on Friday night?
They might hand it to him once or twice, and he may go for 20, 30 yards. I'm not real sure, but
okay.
Yeah, what a night for Triplett. What was it? 5 touchdowns, 400 something yards,
400 something yards rushing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's unheard of. But
We'll
matter of fact, I don't know.
better.
It's got to be close to a state record, Kevin. We'll have to look into that. But heck of a night there for the young Knights. So. But that's going to wrap it up, Kevin, for the preview for next week's game. Appreciate everybody watching On Air with 912 Sports. And until next time, may all your check marks go in the win column.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
This has been On Air with 912 Sports. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week with more coverage of Southeast Georgia high school sports. On Air with 912 Sports has been brought to you by Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopaedic Surgery, Prime South Bank, Gibson Animal Clinic, Coastal Pines Technical College, Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, and Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with Crossway Realty. This has been a presentation of 912 Sports, Southeast Georgia's #1 source for high school sports.